Hello everyone, welcome to another Watchful Software webinar, this time on the subject Bringing Policy-Based Classification to SharePoint. So our agenda today is starting with introductions, some business context, then we will do a demo on SharePoint with RightsWATCH, and then we will say what does RightsWATCH add to native IRM support in SharePoint, and we will finalize with some Q&A. So my name is Katia Franco, and I serve as a product manager for Watchful Software. So some house rules for today. You are all muted centrally, so you don't need to mute or unmute yourself. And also this webinar is being recorded, so you will have access to it later on our website. So don't worry on taking notes or trying to record this, because it will be available to you. And at the end, we'll have a Q&A session. So you are welcome to enter questions anytime using the questions features in the GoToWebinar control panel. So starting with some business context. We can say that SharePoint is a well-known collaboration tool that is being used by more and more companies all over the world. And companies that need to control the access to shared files. On the other hand, average users do not have the knowledge to apply and enforce corporate security policies. And it's not even in their job description. So in terms of collaboration, RightsWATCH comes with the ability to enhance SharePoint security, and organizations can now automatically classify and protect Office files and PDFs added to a specific SharePoint library. So just going through a typical usage scenario. Let's say that we have a SharePoint server running the RightsWATCH add-on, and that the SharePoint administrator defines a policy that states that every Microsoft Office file or PDF file that is added to a specified library on SharePoint need to be classified as confidential or above. Then a SharePoint user uploads an unclassified Microsoft Word, Excel, PowerPoint, PDF file, whatever, to one of the SharePoint libraries. And without the user needing to do anything and not even needing to have RightsWATCH installed on this computer, so this user can be an external user. He does not need to belong to the company. The RightsWATCH SharePoint add-on automatically classifies the file that is added to the specific library as confidential. And here we can have two situations. If the file is previously classified with classification level below confidential, then RightsWATCH upgrades the file classification. So, for instance, if the file was classified previously as public, when it's added to SharePoint, RightsWATCH automatically upgrades the classification to confidential, because that was the rule that was specified by the SharePoint admin. On the other hand, if the file that is uploaded was classified with a level higher than confidential, let's say secret or top secret, RightsWATCH keeps that higher classification level, does not change it. So afterwards, another user logs into SharePoint from his smartphone, for example. And if he has the right permissions, he will be able to check out or download that file with the enforced classification, that is confidential, with the correct marks and tags already added to it. So just let me show you how this works on a demo environment. So I have here a video. So for you to see how easy it is for a RightsWATCH to enhance your SharePoint security experience. So logging into SharePoint as an administrator and going to RightsWATCH SharePoint add-in configuration, you can define a default behavior to every single file that gets uploaded into SharePoint. So here you can define it and you have three options. You can do nothing, you can block the files that are being uploaded, or you can classify them automatically as they are being uploaded. You can also choose the default classification to be applied from the classification policy defined by your company. And you can choose to which files to apply that classification. If you leave it blank, it will apply to everything: Words, Excels, PowerPoints, and PDFs. Down below, you can specify the behavior for specific libraries, different from the default behavior defined previously. So for example, here in the library documents, you can classify on upload every file as confidential. And on product management, for example, you want to classify them as secret on upload. So let's update these settings. So now, switching to a user, let's see how these policies are being applied. So we are going to log in as Paul Brown. He will now be drafting a PowerPoint presentation and will upload it into the Documents library inside the SharePoint site. So let's call this presentation Product Architecture and save it into Desktop. So as you can see, Paul Brown has the RightsWATCH interface. So he has RightsWATCH installed in his laptop. So you can classify this file either as public, internal, confidential, or even secret, according to the corporate policy rules. So now we will classify this as public for now. So Paul Brown is going to upload this file into the Documents library in SharePoint, and RightsWATCH will automatically classify it and protect it. So Paul doesn't need to do anything to it. This will be fully automatic. So for you to see this, we are going to switch to another user. And that user is John Doe. So we can see how these particular policies are being applied to John Doe when he tries to download a copy of the PowerPoint presentation. And remember that the only thing that Paul Brown did was upload the file into SharePoint. Okay? He did nothing else. So as you can see, just by being uploaded to the Documents library, the classification was changed automatically from public to confidential, and according to the policies predefined by the admin. So John cannot copy or print or export, not even have full control of the document, because it is owned by Paul Brown. So moving on. So now John Doe will now produce two documents. One is a Word document and the other is a PDF copy of that document. And then he will upload them into SharePoint. Starting with the Word documents, he will upload it into Product Management library. As you can see, John Doe does not have RightsWATCH installed. Here, it doesn't appear the RightsWATCH interface. So you can see John Doe as an external user that needs to collaborate with Paul Brown that belongs to your company. So John is now going to save this Word document as a PDF file. He's creating the PDF file now so he can later on upload it into SharePoint. So now we're going to switch into the SharePoint interface, where John Doe is going to browse the product management library. Here it is. And you can see that when John Doe will open that product requirement Word file that he just uploaded, you can see that the file is going to be classified as secret, as predefined previously by the administrator. So it has watermarks, it has headers, footers, and you can see that he has full control of this information because he owns it. So now we have a Word document and we are going to have a PDF document also in this library. So it's adding the document. Okay, here it is. So we are going to switch again to Paul Brown just to give you an insight on what Paul can do and see in the product management library. So Paul Brown will try to access the PDF that John Doe just uploaded into the product management library and is going to download a copy of that PDF. So you can see when he opens it, it still has the headers and the footers and the watermarks according to the classification. And under permissions, Paul Brown does not have full control because it's John Doe that owns this information. Okay? So Paul Brown can use either Foxit PDF Reader to render this RMS encrypted PDF file or open it with the Microsoft Sharing app to render the protected PDF file, because RightsWATCH creates a PDF file when encrypting these file types. And so you can use the Sharing app to render these protected PDF files. So moving on with our presentation. So what does RightsWATCH add to native IRM support in RightsWATCH? Well, we know that SharePoint includes access control policy when it comes to who can access a specific library and who has read, write, etc. privileges inside those libraries. Also, SharePoint can invoke IRM on Office documents that are stored in SharePoint libraries. With IRM, it's possible to restrict which actions are available to users when those documents are opened from those libraries. However, without RightsWATCH, it cannot apply data classification to files according to predefined corporate security rules, nor do any rule-based access control, differentiating what each user can do with each file. So, specifying this, we have here a table that can help you understand the exact differences between SharePoint with and without RightsWATCH. And again, don't worry about taking notes because this presentation will be available to you in our website, and a handout with more information is available to you after this webinar, so you can download it and have more information on this subject. So summarizing, with RightsWATCH, SharePoint is able to support not only Office files, but also PDF files. It gains also the ability to integrate with Microsoft RMS templates. RMS templates that manage what can be done to and with the document itself inside SharePoint. Also with RightsWATCH, specific actions and who can take them are based upon the user instead of the library, which what happens with native IRM support in SharePoint. So this means that rule-based access control can be enforced over the files. And as you saw in our demo, without any user intervention. So here, every Microsoft Office file or PDF file that is uploaded into SharePoint becomes automatically classified and RMS protected according to the corporate policy. Obviously, corporate policy templates can be applied also, ensuring that the appropriate classification, markings, tags, and protections are applied to the documents. And also the content of the RMS protected files cannot be indexable or searchable by users inside SharePoint, which can be an added security feature. So, finalizing, we have a little bit of time to answer some questions. So I have a question here from John, and he asks, and if I use SharePoint online, does this work in the same way? Well, John, thank you so much for your question. Actually, if you use SharePoint online, it means that you don't really have control over the server where SharePoint is installed, correct? So most likely you cannot install third-party software. So you cannot install the RightsWATCH add-on to SharePoint because Microsoft won't let you do that. So, however, even without this add-on, you can still have the advantage of being able to classify your data with RightsWATCH before uploading it into SharePoint. And that can be done either manually by a user or automatically by RightsWATCH based on content, context, or the file metadata, okay? So I think we don't have any more questions at this point. So if you have any questions later on, please feel free to send us an email to info@watchfulsoftware.com, or to ask any questions or to request a demo. We'll be happy to get back to you as soon as possible. So again, please remember that this video will be available to you in the resources area of our website. So please go there, explore, download the video, and explore the other features that we have there. And thank you so much for your assistance, and hope to see you soon on our next webinar. Thank you so much and have a nice day.